No.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Diaries of a Retiree. Beautiful spring afternoon, the birds are chirping and I'm in the company of Joan. Hello Joan.
Hello, Miles.
Welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Welcome to the garden.
Thank you very much. Beautiful garden you've got here.
Oh, thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I qualified as an accountant in 1987 and then I joined a firm of international architects in 1988. So I was with them for all of my career,
Wow.
all of my qualified career, 32 years.
Great.
So, yeah, and it wasn't international when I joined, but it grew and grew. And at the end, I was finance director and it turned over 50 million.
So if I ask you what 2 and 2 makes, I'm sure you can give me the answer then.
Yeah, in any currency, Miles.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So now you're retired, Joan. What was your journey between work and retirement? How did you get into retirement?
Well, I think when you're in a company that's growing and evolving and you're busy and see lots of change, it's difficult to imagine retiring at all because there's always something new to keep you going.
Yeah.
And you feel an integral part of the company. You feel as though, how could they manage without me? And of course, we know that isn't always the case. But that decision was taken out of my hands really because my husband had health issues.
Yes.
So he had a heart attack and then recovered from that. And then he had a stroke about a year later. And we both thought, I think it might be time for us to do something a bit different and have more time. And of course, with a job where there's a lot of responsibility and change and new things, there wasn't a lot of spare time. So that the decision was made for me, to be honest.
Yeah. I think often, I guess, people find there's a time in life where health reminds us that there's more to life than work, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. And some things you can control and then there are others that you just can't. And we just thought, you sometimes feel as though you're driven to keep working and at this pace of life.
Yes.
And then something happens and it makes you just question why. So that was the reason why I did retire.
And your husband's fit and well now?
Yeah, I mean, he had another 2 strokes after that, but he's got a good recovery and he is generally fit. And I think that's helped him.
Great.
So yeah, although he thinks I retired to be his carer, it doesn't seem to work that way, to be honest. No, it doesn't. But no, it means we've got time now to just enjoy life and simple things.
Great.
Yeah.
And what sort of things do you get involved in? Are you as busy as you were as your working life?
Yeah, well, people, once they know what you did and where your experiences lie, you get asked to do a lot of things that often is linked to the job that you did. Right. So I am a treasurer for a couple of things, but also it's things that I've actually got an interest in as well. So I sing with a choir. I did that before,
Fantastic.
But now I'm their treasurer. Kept saying no, but then I said yes. I'm a treasurer for the village hall. I do line dancing in the village. And I'm also on the PCC of the local church.
Right.
So I think it's fair to say I do my bit or get involved in some things. Yeah.
So you're quite physically active during your retirement.
Yes.
You don't believe in just sitting about.
Well, no. I mean, it is nice to have days like that. I don't think every day for me can be planned, and I wouldn't want it to be. But I'd give myself pressures because I think I probably do well under some pressure. So while I'm the treasurer for those, and I'm also a treasurer of the charity that I was in when I worked, it's a work-related charity, and I'm still involved in that.
Great.
So I've got involvement in things, but I have still got spare time because I don't want it all to be taken up with, feel as I've got to fill every hour because I don't think you do. I mean, when I first retired, and for me it was unusual because it was right at the start of lockdown, and then when I was at home and had lots of time off, I started doing all projects all over the place. Everywhere I looked, I could see something that needed to be done. And my husband said, there's no rush now. You don't need to do it all in a weekend.
Yes.
So you tend to then just calm down a bit. You tend to feel as though you've got to be busy. And I've learned, actually, you don't have to be. So.
And we sat out here in your beautiful garden and we sat on your new patio.
Yeah, well, yes.
So there's a lot of projects that you do.
Well, there are a lot of projects. I mean, there are things that you can take time to plan. But we're lucky that we live in a village and there are lots of people that are in our position, I think, with some time.
Yes.
And it's just nice to feel that you're not isolated, or, you know, if you were at home and you didn't have anyone to see, or you didn't see anyone, I can imagine it would be a different experience.
Yes.
But I think we are quite lucky where we are.
So having that village community,
Yes,
it means quite a lot to you then, Joan.
it does mean a lot. It does. And I think in a village, like, well, any village really, you can get as involved as you want to be. And we've got a local pub as well, and different things going on. People are always looking out for you. And particularly when Steve had his illness, my husband, that was a big help to us. And that's made us appreciate it even more, actually, being somewhere, where you've got people on your side. And
Great. Super. So I guess the question is, if the phone went tomorrow and they said come back to work, what would the answer be?
Like a shot. No, well, no. If that happened, I would be flattered.
Yes.
But if they asked me to go back, I would have to be very grateful, but say I'll decline.
Yes.
Because you can't go in and then the temptation would be, because you know it.
Yeah.
But then, no. I'm quite
You've
happy.
moved on,
I've
and
moved
now
on.
you're enjoying what you're doing, right?
And don't get me wrong, you've got a title when you work, and you know there are all the perks of the job, and you belong to. It's like a family. It's another family. It's a difficult thing to lose, but I still keep in touch with everybody that I work with. But the company's moved on, and so have I. So but in a good way.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing, that things do move on, don't they?
They do.
And they are different. And
they should move on, because things evolve, don't they?
Yeah.
Things change. I think underneath it all, I would never probably have retired myself, because I couldn't probably have let go. But actually, I'm glad that I did.
Yes.
Because it was a very stressful job.
Yeah.
You don't realise how stressful until you've left somewhere, do you? But
Indeed.
Yeah, for different reasons, but yeah.
Great. What sort of would be your top tip or advice to somebody that is in work and can't let go?
Oh dear, that's quite tricky, because I think it all depends on what they've got to go to, or what they think they've got to have to go to. And everybody's circumstances are different. And people have often said to me, if you feel ready to retire, it's too late. You should finish when you've got a bit of something still to do.
Great.
But I would say, the company will be able to manage without you, and so it should, because you know we're not all indispensable, are we? You feel as though you are, but you're not.
Great.
And that's not a negative thing. We shouldn't be indispensable, because it would be a weakness of the company, really, if they put somebody in place that it would all fall to pieces if you left. And life isn't like that, is it?
No, absolutely.
No.
Great. Well, I think that's some really useful tips, Joan. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And thanks for everybody to tuning in. Thanks, Joan. We're enjoying ourselves in this beautiful garden, so we'll have another cup of coffee before we leave. But thanks, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Diaries of a Retiree. Thank you then. Bye.